Hello, my beautiful friends. It's been a minute. So this is actually the second video I'm doing today. The first one I did, I don't know, when I was shuffling the cards, it paused the recording, and so half of it didn't get recorded. So we're gonna do it again. So I was pulling a rune, and the rune I pulled this morning was Mannaz, which is the humanity stone, and the message was about our champions in our life, the people who really help us get along on our path, and our role as champions for others. So we'll see. We're going to pull another rune. We're going to do another reading just to see if there's something else that Spirit wants me to talk about. I always think there are no coincidences, so perhaps I wasn't meant to share that reading. Maybe that was just a reading for myself. And so we'll pull a stone now and see if it applies. So we're going to ask our spirit guides, Seth and Adam. Those are my spirit guides, my spirit team, my champions, my spiritual champions on the other side. That includes, of course, I'm Christian, so that's Jesus and Mary, and Saint Bridget, Saint Columba, and Saint Patrick, the three Celtic saints, Saint Therese of Lisieux, Archangel Michael, and yeah, so my spirit team is big on the other side. So let's see if there's a message here for us for now, for lunchtime. Fiddling around here to find a stone that is calling to me. Ha! Ha! It is still Mannaz. It is still the Mannaz stone, which is humanity. So let me read to you what the stone means. So funny. That was the stone. That was the stone meant for today. It was the stone at 5 o'clock this morning, and it's still the stone today, this afternoon at lunch. So that's good to know. Spirit is so funny. So, Mannaz translates to humanity, and it means individuality and friendship, society, cooperation and help, improved cognition, humankind, essence of all humanity. Take your time to make decisions, be someone objective, help, cooperation, friendship, positive relationship with others, and positive relationship with the divine. And the story that I told this morning when I did this reading the first time was I volunteered for the Red Cross, and we had responded to a fire this weekend. And it was in a small town that's near me, and it wasn't in a great section of the town, and it was an apartment building, and I had been there earlier, but then I had to go back late at night, and two of the people whose apartment was two of the people who lived in an apartment that was impacted, they were at work when the fire happened, so they came home and their apartment was gone, and they had taken in another guy who last week his apartment house had been condemned, and so they had this person who had been displaced with them. Now he's displaced again, and this is it's a rougher part of town. It's a part of town that has a lot of drug activity, a lot of very economically depressed folks, and it is it's heartbreaking. And a week prior to this, there had been another fire in this town that had been horrific, and it claimed the lives of a mother and her children. And so, the fire department's there, and, they're tired, and that fire, the first fire with the mother and the children, was just the worst of the worst, right? And now we have this next fire, and now we have these people, and then they have no place to go, right? So the Red Cross doesn't actually provide housing to individuals. If it's a large scale disaster, we open up shelters, but we provide a little bit of money to help people so they can get someplace to stay, for the night. But it was very late at night, and there was nowhere to go, and these folks don't drive, and the Red Cross doesn't provide transportation. There isn't Uber, there aren't taxis where I'm at. So, so it was really, you know, it was hard because we didn't know, the other responder and I didn't know, like, what were these folks going to do? And a neighbor came from across the street, and another person who has very little, had nothing. And we had called around to the hotels in the area. The bigger hotels were booked. The one hotel that could take them was overcharging, and they would have had to walk, and it was awful. Like, we did not know what was going to happen, to these people. And this neighbor who is across the street and has very little himself offered his home to them. And it just reminded me, in our times of greatest need, like, we give what we can, and people who have very little often give a lot. And you know I mean, it was like 12:30 at night. I'm thinking, this one hotel, like, you aren't going to rent that room anyway. Like, why, to anybody else, like, why can't you give these folks a break on the price? I mean, you're going to get nothing, or, you could give a little bit, but they really, really jacked up the price for the one room. And it was just like, you know, it was frustrating because you want to help these people, and these people need help. And there's this guy who doesn't have a lot, who gave what he could, and is helping these people out. So I was reminded of that, and then thinking about that this morning. And, right now, times, in every time in human history, it has been a challenge, right? But a lot of us feel a little overwhelmed right now. A lot of people need extra help and extra care, right? And we think, well, I don't have anything I can give, but you do. You have hope, right? And as the Humanity Stone says, hope is your best weapon. Hope is what we have, and we have to be here for each other. We have to be champions for each other. And there's also, like, a little warning too, that, not everybody who looks like a champion is a champion, right? The worst kind, right, are people who look like or pretend to be your champion, but really aren't. They don't want the best for you. And sometimes it's hard to spot those folks, and it's hard to pick them out of a crowd. So, and then we have to think about our role as a champion for others, right? So who are our champions? The people that we can rely on, the people that help guide us through this, journey through life. And then who are we helping through on their journeys, right? So let's see if Spirit wants to use the cards to speak to us. Some cards came out before, but I don't remember what they were, and that's the part I didn't record because apparently when I shuffled, I paused the computer. So if you're new to the channel, I shuffle 3 times, and these are oracle cards. I'm not going to put them on my computer because that's what happened last time. So I would love to know in the comments below, like, who are your champions, or who do you champion? How do you try to be a champion in this world? So we're shuffling 3 times. And we're knocking 3 times. Blow 3 times. Now we shuffle. Now we deal, and if anything comes out, then it's meant to go with the reading. And if nothing comes out, then this isn't how Spirit wants to communicate with us. So let's go. Pass 1. Pass 2. Okay, so Spirit did not want to use these cards. We did 3 passes. Nothing came out. Not a problem. So far, the message stands on its own. Humanity. I love that stone, the Mannaz stone. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful stone, a beautiful reminder that we're all connected. We're all connected in this physical world, but we're all connected with our spiritual world too, right? There's that connection over, and so you have champions on the other side that are here for you. Whatever your tradition, my tradition is Christian, but you might not be Christian. Your higher self, your ancestors, whatever gods and goddesses you might believe in. You have your earthly realm of champions, and then you have your spiritual realm of champions. and being grateful for them. In the month of Samhain, we reflect on, all of our blessings and all of our champions. And as we move into that Celtic New Year, we think about, how to work with our spirit guides and our ancestors. All right, let's pass through these 3 times and see if Spirit wants to say anything with the cards. Pass 1. That kind of fell out of my hand, so I'm going to do that pass again. There we go. And pass 3. That one fell on the floor, so it must have been an important one. Come here. Come here. I gotta get it. I shall be right back. On the floor. Sorry about that. All right. Divine connection. What are we just saying? We're connected. Right there she is. She's in the water. The standing stones are behind her. Right? We're connected. We're in, we are both with one foot in the physical world, but one foot in the spiritual world, right? We are connected to the divine. And that is what helps humanity, right? Is recognizing those roots and recognizing, our place in being a resource for others, and that we need resources to get through. These two came out together. This is heart healing and go with the flow. This is one of my favorite cards, the go with the flow card. So heart healing is just recognizing that we have wounds and that we do need healing. And humanity needs healing, right? There is hurt going around. The reason we need champions, the reason we need to be champions is because it's not easy to get through this physical life on our own. And we need to heal, and we need to heal from the heart, right? Like wounds heal. I got stung by a bee at, in piping last weekend, right? Got stung by a bee and it hurt and it swelled up for a week, but it does physically heal. Heart healing takes a little bit more time, and it takes hands. It takes helping hands. It takes hands that are open to help. And, and part of that healing is going with the flow. Like, notice she doesn't know. I'm terrible at using this camera. She doesn't know what's around the corner, but notice she also doesn't have any oars. It's beautiful. She's taking in the setting, the scenery, and she's looking around, but she's just going with the flow, and she's letting things happen, and it's very gentle and calm, right? It's not a speedboat. It's not a ski boat, right? She's going with the flow and allowing her heart to be healed. And she's going on this journey, to connect herself with, to be connected with the divine. So, I think the Humanity Stone, having come out twice, must mean something, right? So how can you be a champion? What champions can you rely on? And how can we help each other get through the tough stuff? And there is tough stuff going on. How do we help each other get through the tough stuff? So in the Celtic world, we have something called an Anam Cara, which is a soul friend, right? So like, you have your best friend, your best bud, right? An Anam Cara is very much like that, but it's a person that you can connect with at the soul level, that helps you be connected in the physical and spiritual worlds, right? So who is your Anam Cara? And to whom are you an Anam Cara? So I am wishing you the very best and brightest. Be well. Take care. Bye-bye.